CFO money can buy? And he said, that's easy. It's a guy named Joe O'Connor. I said, Joe O'Connor, why does that name sound familiar? He goes, he was the one who had a company, and it's known today as L'Oreal, took him into 48 countries. I go, holy cow, yeah. And I go, is he available? And he said, well, I doubt it, but you asked, who's the best CFO money can buy? And I said, great challenge. So Joe O'Connor's our CFO. All right, our COO is actually one of my best friends. He actually is my best friend. Bless you. He's my best friend. His name's Mark Bennett. Mark Bennett, according to D Magazine, was the #1 attorney in Dallas. And he was done all my personal attorney stuff, all my business entities. And he also served as an operations counsel to a good majority of the Fortune 50 companies in the United States of America. Like, this guy's like a savant when it comes to operations and all that type. He's just great at that type of stuff. So those are our two C-level executives. I could go on and on about the rest of our team, but they're incredible. So going back, I told you there's 7 major keys I look at. The first one is the who. What's the purpose behind it? Who's behind it? That's the deal. Then the second keys I look at, as I just sort of referenced, corporate team, investor group. Then the third thing I look at is what's unique about what you're doing, right? What makes you different than everything else that's out there, right? Because if you are selling the same thing other people are selling, then your only real value add there is price. And we all know you can never be the cheapest at whatever it is you're doing because it's an ongoing battle for forever. So then there's times you don't have a value proposition. So I don't want to be involved in that. So basically, you're going to see that not only are we changing the face of health and wellness, but we own the proprietary rights to it. Nobody can do what we're doing. Okay, so I'll explain that here momentarily, and that's why 10 days into a company, it's standing room only here. Last night, where was I last night? Saddlebrook, it was standing room only, same size room. People are going crazy because here's why. The unique product offering is solving a solution. People want to look and feel better, and now what we have takes the guesswork out of it. You'll see we're not selling some berry from the Himalayan mountains that came from a goat's rear that you squeeze and you stand on one leg and whatever. Right? I don't know what I'm talking about. If any of y'all have sold that stuff, no disrespect to you, but that's not it. Okay? If you think a juice is going to make you get in better shape, you're wrong. I'm just being honest with you. Okay? So science does not back that up. What we have, everything is backed by clinical evidence, medical facts, scientific proof. There's nothing we're going to show you that is based on a hypothesis or something we think works. It's all based on fact, and I'll show you that momentarily. So the unique product offering. Second thing is this. There's got to be an amazing compensation plan in place for those that want to be the walking billboards. We're a direct sales company. That's the reason we've chosen to do that, because it is the wave of the future. Direct sales is the wave of the future. It's being taught over 220 college campuses now, and growing. Network marketing is. Over 220 colleges, almost every billionaire is investing in network marketing companies right now. It's booming. It's the most effective and efficient way to do business. And I'll show you some facts on direct sales in a little bit, but it's not the 80s anymore, right? It's not the 80s. In the 80s, people go, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme, right? I say, no, it's a triangle. It's a triangle scheme. That's what it is. But you get my point. People in the 80s and 90s didn't know, right? I mean, they didn't know the difference. Today, we know the difference, right? We know the difference between a direct sales company and an illegal pyramid scheme. But people didn't know that. Now, every once in a while, let me be honest, every once in a while, you'll have poor broke Uncle Harry not know the difference, right? That's why he's called poor broke Uncle Harry, right? It's always the one that's broke and has nothing that has all the answers to life's problems. I'm just telling you, it's mind-boggling to me. So you'll hear some people, oh, I got burned on one of those deals. They got burned. It's like, what were they selling? Fire? What do you mean they got burned? What does that mean they got burned, right? So my point is this. People know direct sales, and I'll show you statistics on that. That's why we chose to use direct sales. You all are living, right now as we speak, to the greatest example I can give you about direct sales. We didn't advertise for this meeting. And I guarantee if we did, nobody would have showed up. You're all here because someone you know and trust invited you to come. And you said, sure, I'll be happy to come. Or you came because they wouldn't leave you alone and you wanted to shut them up. One of the two, but you're here because someone you know and trust invited you, right? And that's the bottom line. What we've built is we've built the greatest compensation plan in the history of this industry. That's not my opinion, that's a fact. And I'll go over the compensation plan here momentarily. See, where most people don't make any money in direct sales, it's because there's gotchas in their compensation plan. It's the truth, and I'll go over those as we go through the comp plan, okay? We don't have any gotchas. It's very clean. You're not having to inventory product. You're not having to buy a bunch of product and then sell it to your friends. It's a paperless business, hands-free business. Very simple, so I'll explain your own character. Innovative systems and tools. As Jim alluded to, I grew an affinity for direct sales when I was 22 years old. And the reason I grew an affinity for direct sales is because a buddy of mine that I grew up with in 6th grade hounded me to come to one of his meetings. I knew nothing about this industry, and it took me over a year to go listen. Over a year. So I finally agreed to go so he would leave me alone. That's why I went. And I'll tell you this. The reason why I chose to get involved in direct sales is it simply just made sense to me. Where else was a 22-year-old with no money necessarily at the time, right, to invest in something? How was I going to get ahead in life financially? You know what I mean? I want you to think about the way our world is right now. Okay, our world is not locked in on freedom. No. Our world is locked in on life, liberty, and the pursuit of the weekend. That's the deal, right? It used to be life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. No. Now it's life, liberty, pursuit of the weekend. Now people pray for a snowstorm so they don't have to go to work. Think about that. I'm reading Facebook earlier. People go, thank God, I don't have to go to work. I'm frozen in. I want you to think about this. We have people fighting for our freedom every day and for other countries' freedoms every day so we can be free. Yet you have people that live their entire lives in handcuffs working for a job they hate. Look, life is very simple. It's about choices. It's that simple. When you make choices, there's going to be consequences. When you make the right choices, there's a good outcome. When you make the wrong choices, there's a bad outcome. When you make no choice, you're called a robot. That's what you are. You know, ID Life, folks, we're not a company. We're a movement. We're a movement. My passion in life is to try to help us all wake up to the fact that you can be, do, and have whatever you want in life if you'll just simply open your mind, right? Your mind is like a parachute. It only works when you open it. And at the end of the day, direct sales changed my life. I went from a 22-year-old, my very first one, made hundreds of thousands of dollars my very first year. 24, 25, I was a multi-millionaire by the age of 25. I was living off $1,000 a month, so I saved it, put it into good business ventures, made millions of dollars in traditional business over the last 15 years because I wasn't wasting my money. And I've grown an affinity for direct sales to the point where I did it part-time and made millions of dollars in the industry. This industry changed my life for forever. And I want you all to understand this. So when I talk about the best compensation plan, the best systems and tools, it was built with you in mind. It was built as if, okay, if Logan Stout would get involved in a company today, what would the perfect comp plan look like? What would the perfect tools look like? Our company isn't being run by a bunch of private equity guys who just want to make a bunch of money in the industry. You all know my story. I don't need any more money. This isn't being built to make me a bunch of money. This is being built so you can have the ID life, the individually designed life. That's why this company is built. It's built to be a legacy that my kids can be involved in, and their kids can be involved in, and we can go change people's lives. This company was built for you. For you. And I really want you to understand that. That's why we pay out over 50%. I've ever paid 50% in commission volume. We pay out over 50%. Typical company pays out 13%. 13%. So I want you to understand, my number one passion, the reason I'm here tonight, is not to sell you on this. I'm going to educate and show you what we're doing. If you want to do it, great. That's up to you. My number one reason for being here tonight is to help you understand that the way your life is doesn't have to be the way it ends up. You know, in life, it's very simple. It takes sacrifice. Anybody that tells you that they're successful without sacrifice are lying. It takes sacrifice. And here's my view on life. You can sacrifice for 24 months and then have life on your own terms, or you can choose not to sacrifice, and I would submit to you, you're going to be sacrificing your entire life away. Right? That's the deal. That's the bottom line. What I'm going to show you right now, I can't say guarantee you, but in my heart and soul, I guarantee you that if you'll just be coachable, follow what we're doing, understand what we're doing, this can change your life forever. We have individuals in this room right now that have been involved in this business for a matter of weeks, months, who are already making almost $1,000 a month in passive income and just started. Gina, we had her come up in front of the room tonight. She was terrified, but I thought you did a great job. Okay? So I asked Gina when I got here, I said, hey, you don't mind me asking, what's your residual check? And everybody understand, residual is a term that we need to teach our kids. We need to teach our kids residual. I'll give you an example. My two boys. You know, some of my friends said, man, you just going to spoil your kids, you know? And I said, heck no. They said, well, you're going to give them an allowance, right? I said, the only way my kids earn an allowance is if they read a good book. They go, what do you mean? They go, what about cleaning their rooms and stuff? I go, that's part of being part of the Stout team. Right? If they're going to be a part of the Stout team, they're going to do what they're supposed to do to be a good teammate. That's simple. You don't get allowance for cleaning your room. No, you're expected to clean your stinking room. It's your room. That's your job. I'm just telling you. Look, here's the deal. You have to understand, I'm not trying to speak at you. I'm trying to speak with you. I give travel all over speaking at churches to kids, and I counsel parents. When I was a pastor, I counseled parents and their kids. We're raising generations of kids with the entitlement mindset. They literally go to school, and they go graduate from high school, they're blessed, they go to college, they get a stupid piece of paper, and I have 3 of them, so I'm not downplaying education. They get a piece of paper, and they think they can walk into a job interview and get a job. I'm like, you kidding me? You know, what makes you qualified? Well, I got a degree. That's what I asked. What makes you qualified? Anybody with the money that can go to college and get a degree, you just put a little effort in. I've got 3 buddies. I still know how they got their degree. That proves to me it ain't that hard, right? So my point, though, no, I want you to hear me on this. I want you to hear me on this. If you have kids, I pray you will teach them the importance of ownership versus entitlement. Empower your kids. Don't make them feel like they're entitled to something. They're not entitled to nothing. And here's what I love about direct sales. It doesn't matter how old or how young you are. Doesn't matter how much net worth you are. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. Doesn't matter your religious affiliation. None of that matters. What matters is you're going to get paid what you deserve to get paid based upon your efforts. Period. What I love about Gina is she's been doing this very part-time for a matter of weeks, and her residual check, she showed it to me, is just at $900 a month already in passive income in a few weeks. Do you understand we just started enrolling customers 10 days ago? 10 days ago. And she already has a residual almost $1,000 a month. I mean, that's insane, right? And so my whole point is this. This company was founded because I want the American dream to come back to every human being in this country. Yeah, we'll be global. But bottom line is this. We live in a great country. And one of the greatest things, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And I think what we all need to do is wake up and realize life doesn't have to be the way it's been. Because we are giving free will to make choices that lead to outcomes. Now the key is finding a vehicle where when you put your time and energy into something, it's reciprocated with a good payback. Does that make sense? You have to have a good return on time. That's the bottom line. The reason I'm not where I used to be, some of you know me from that, is I realized a new person getting in wasn't getting a good return on their time. They just weren't. And I'm not going to get in front of a room, a group of people, and promote something I don't fully believe in. I don't care how much I'm making. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to move on to something else in life. And you all have an opportunity here where your return on time will be exponentially bigger than anything you've ever done in your life, and I'd be willing to bet you that. That's why I'm here, is to share with you what we're doing. And the last key thing I look at in the company is timing. Timing. You know, when you think about people that create huge wealth, people think about the product they have. People think about the work ethic. People think about the team they put around them. And all those are true, as long as the timing's right. Imagine, if you will, if you were the one who owned all the real estate in Manhattan 100 years ago. I guarantee you're smarter than whoever those people were. You could probably assemble a better team with more capital. But it's too late. You'll know a friend of mine, Barbara Corcoran, real estate mogul. That's how she made all her money in Manhattan. Still to this day, the only person to sue Donald Trump and win on a real estate transaction, right? But my point is this. Timing is critical. I want you to hear me. You're at the very beginning of this company. The very beginning, right? I mean, you're before the beginning, which is huge. In direct sales, you're at the front end. Why is that important? Because you know about something before everyone else already hears about it. Right? How many of you have heard of Mary Kay? Right? If you haven't, shame yourself, okay? Right? I mean, the 4-year-olds going, yeah, I've heard of Mary Kay. Right? I mean, you know what kind of cars you drive and what color. Whether you love the company, hate the company, that's not the point. They're obviously a great company. You don't last over 60 years by being a bad company. They're obviously a wonderful company. Imagine if you were in the room the first week they launched. Think about that for a second. Well, here's what I'm here to tell you. We're going to be a lot bigger than them. And you're here the first week, basically, that we've launched. So from that standpoint, the timing is huge. Now, here's the second key to timing. And this is the most underrated component to timing that I want you to understand for the rest of your life if you want to invest in something. Are you providing a solution that the country is aware of? There has never been a better time to get involved in the health and wellness space in 2014 in the history of our country. We have free advertising about the importance of health and wellness every day in the media. Every single day. people are starting to realize, I better get in good shape. See, the mindset of us, for the most part, has been, if something goes wrong with my body, I'll go where? To a doctor, right? Our country's starting to realize, I need to prevent things from going wrong. You know, we need to stop doing what I'm guilty of. You know, the check engine light is on your car, and you go, that's good. You know, you keep driving and driving and driving and driving. As soon as it starts sputtering, you're like, holy cow, I gotta find a place. I gotta find a place. I gotta find a place. Right? You wait for panic mode, and then you go into the Jiffy Lube or whatever it is, right? That's how humans treat their bodies. The difference is you can get a new car when it breaks down. You can't get a new body. Last thing I'll leave you with as it pertains to health and wellness and why the time is perfect. I told you I have 2 boys. Look, you being in great shape or getting in great shape or helping prevent things from happening is not simply a matter of what's in it for you. It's for those that are counting on you. I see little kids here in the audience, and I see guys right here that, you know, they're counting on us to be in good shape. They're counting on us to be there for them, right? And my wife and I got a really late start in life with having kids. I'll be very transparent with you. We couldn't have kids. We tried for 6 years. We couldn't have kids. We're both in great shape. We never abused our bodies. We've never, it's one of those things. We couldn't have kids. You know, so I'll be one of the oldest parents when my kids are walking the stage in high school. Right? I want to have quality years of my life. I want to have quality years. And I think we all want that. The key is this: how? How? Well, that's why we're here. The future of health and wellness is here. Supplementation is a booming industry. Pretty much everyone knows you need to have supplements. If you don't think that, you're wrong. That's the easiest way I can put it. What is supplementation in a nutshell? It's simply a way to deliver nutrients to the body. Because the foods we eat, they don't have the nutrients that we need. Documentation beats conversation. Cancer is at all-time highs. Infertility is at all-time highs. Diabetes, all-time highs. High blood pressure, all-time highs. Pretty much anything that can go wrong is at all-time highs. And the reason being, it's pretty simple math. We eat garbage. We eat garbage. You go to a restaurant, you can hardly get a fresh cooked meal. It's all laden with salt, laden with preservatives. It is what it is. It's very difficult to eat healthy. Right? I try to eat healthy every day of my life. I order salmon. Right? I asked the guy, is your salmon wild salmon or farm-fed salmon? The guy looks at me like I'm speaking French. What does that even mean? And I literally told him, I said, in 12 months you'll know exactly what that means. And he kind of looked at me. He goes, what do you mean? I go, in 12 months, everybody will know the difference. Because farm-fed salmon is terrible for you. It's pumped with testosterone, steroids, so they can maximize the almighty dollar. Greed has dominated the food industry. How can we make it as cheap as possible with the cheapest junk possible, preserve the longest shelf life, so we can have the highest margin? That's what's happened to our country. You know most of the foods we eat are banned in Europe? You can't even have them. You know? Terms like gluten-free. I was at Capitol Grill eating a filet mignon the other day. And the guy says to me, and I noticed on the menu it said gluten-free. And I chuckled in my head, going, who orders a filet mignon? Who cares if it's gluten-free? I mean, right? So the guy tells me, great, good choice, sir. You know that's gluten-free. And so I go, tell me what that means. And he goes, sir, I have no idea. Right? And I guarantee you almost every one of you have no idea what that means. But you mark my word, 12 months from now, you'll know exactly what that means, right? Here's the other good one. Dallas Morning News 3 weeks ago. Cheetos. I love me some Cheetos. I'm not going to lie to you. I should have known the junk that ends up on your fingers can't be natural. Yeah. But that's the best part, you know what I mean? You know? So Cheetos' whole marketing strategy for 2014 is that the Cheetos are now non-GMO, which means they're not genetically modified. And I had this huge article in the Dallas Morning News, and I started laughing. I'm like, it's Cheetos. No one cares if they're eating Cheetos, I can assure you, if they're genetically modified or not, right? I'm sure y'all go to the aisles, and you go, you know, I got to get me some Cheetos that are non-genetically modified. That's what I'm looking for, some Cheetos. But my point is this, when you have Cheetos making it their #1 brand strategy, that should tell you something. Timing. The #1 key to the timing we have right now in our country is everyone's going to know what gluten-free means. Everyone's going to know what no trans fats means. Everyone's going to know what casein-free. Everyone's going to know what being on the FDA GRAS list means. Everyone's going to know what all these terms mean. And you're going to be the one that tells you. You're going to be the one that educates you. You're going to be the one that's at the front end. I was blessed to be at the front end of the deregulation of energy. We did $6.5 billion in business in just 5 states over about an 8.5-year window. Okay? If I tried to get in that industry right now, there's no way we'd make that money. We were at the front end of that, right? We were there before anyone even knew what that meant. You're at the front end of before anyone knows what it means to buy something that's not processed or no GMOs, you're gluten-free or casein-free. And here's the thing, and I want you to hear me on this. Knowledge is not power. No, knowledge is not power. Knowledge creates a powerful opportunity. For those that act on it, yes, knowledge can become power. But it's all about acting on the opportunity. So timing is critical. You're at the front end of this. I'm putting my time and energy into it. I can invest in any arena that I want to. And I'm doing it in the health and wellness space because I'm telling you, A, it's fun. It's fun helping people look and feel better. I mean, I love the testimonies. We're already, you guys lost 100 pounds already. You know, I love the testimonies. That's awesome, right? But B, I know for a fact that for you all in the direct sales space, this is the wave of the future. You have companies out there right now that make hundreds of millions of dollars a year off junk. Absolute garbage products. But they have a direct sales marketing plan, and people go sell the stuff. And it's absolute garbage. What we have are the greatest nutrients in the entire world, delivered through a proprietary system called ID Nutrition. What I'm going to show you all right now is how ID Nutrition works. It is customized to you. What this does is it takes the guesswork out of what you need. It takes the guesswork out entirely. Never again are you going to have to wonder what you need. Even more important, wonder what you don't need. I guarantee you, if you buy supplements right now, you're probably taking stuff you shouldn't be taking. I guarantee you that. You know why? Because you could go to 10 different nutritionists right now, and they're all going to recommend 10 different things. They are. Because they're going to do their best, but they don't know every detail about you. You know, we just signed up in ID Life, a world-renowned cardiologist. Went over to his house. This guy's like there's only 4 guys in the entire state of New Jersey who are allowed to do what he does. And then when he saw this, he goes, this is the most amazing thing. It's incredible. Signed up. Signed up on the spot. He goes, this takes the guesswork out of what people need. This is perfect. And he goes, I think it's his brother. Because my brother owns 20 pharmacies. Can we put all these compound pharmacies? Compound pharmacy. You don't know what the difference is between a pharmacist and a compound pharmacist. A compound pharmacist makes prescription medication specific to you. Pharmacist just has a bunch of pills, they put it in a container and give it to you. It's not customized. Compound pharmacist makes customized pharmaceutical grade prescription meds. Now, let's be real. If you're having to take prescription meds, that's not good. It's not good, right? That's why every label says this will cause your hair to fall out, cause you to lose a leg, this will cause you to do whatever, right? You know, I had a guy tell me today, he goes, well, I don't take supplements. I said, why not? And he goes, because I just don't trust them. You take a prescription medication, because you gotta take 2. I go, have you read the stinking label on that, right? I mean, it's like people are so naive. So, let's talk about ID Nutrition and how this works. This is your webpage. Everybody has a replicated website. We set it up for you. It's very, very simple. Okay? So boom, it's set up. An individual goes on your replicated website and they just click take your free assessment now. It's free. And this is some of the questions that it asks. By the way, we're HIPAA compliant. Okay? So that means your information is private. It's protected. So even though I'm the chairman and CEO of the company, I can't even see your information. So on our staff, we have HIPAA certified individuals. So if you ever have a question, they're the only ones that are allowed to look at your information. Okay? And why is that important? What if you have AIDS? What if you're HIV positive? What if you got an alcohol problem? I don't know. You know what I mean? You don't want the whole world knowing that, right? So it's HIPAA compliant. And here's the deal. You know, we have a ton of doctors that are using our system now, and it's going. If you know chiropractors, doctors, gym owners, salons, spas, you know, cardiovascular, they go crazy over this. But doctors always tell me, they say, Logan, when I sit down and we're going through the checklist of things with people, he goes, I know they're lying to me. Right? They don't tell me everything honestly. He goes, I had a husband and wife get in a fight in the middle of my office because I asked the question, do you drink alcohol? And she goes, a little bit. And the husband looked at her. You know what I mean? You're going to feel comfortable being honest on here. All right? So, welcome Mark. That's the example that we're using here. So let's look at some of the questions. So it says, describe your height and weight. Describe any allergies that apply. Have any of your biological relatives, siblings, parents, or grandparents been diagnosed in the bond? Why do you take supplements? Now, ladies, this is a guy, obviously, Mark. Your questions will be different. Okay, so your questions may ask you, are you pregnant? Are you trying to get pregnant, right? Are you, whatever your goal is, okay? So this is a guy, so some of the questions are a little bit different. Then it goes into dietary patterns, right? How many 4-ounce servings of fruit and vegetables do you eat? How about processed meats? What about sugars, artificial sweeteners? So we'll ask you all types of dietary patterns questions. Then go into lifestyle. Choose the best description of your sleeps. Here's the question. How many alcoholic beverages do you drink per day, right? What best describes your smoking frequency? Are you exposed to secondhand smoke? Now here's why that's important. My mother smokes. I wish she didn't, but she doesn't. And my mom, I got her on supplements I was taking. When I was playing professional baseball, I'll never forget when they got me on supplements. And I said, I'd really like to get some for my parents. They don't take anything. I'd like to get them on supplements. And they go, great, we'll just give her the same thing you're taking. I went, my mom is supposed to take the same exact supplements I'm taking? They go, yeah. I'm in my early 20s. I'm in the best shape of my life. My mother smokes, not necessarily in the best shape of her life. She doesn't work out. I have to work out every single day. And you're telling me she's supposed to take the same thing I'm taking? Yeah. I'll never forget at that moment in time. I was like, it can't be right. But it was a doctor telling me this. Right? Which I learned a valuable lesson. Doctors don't know anything about nutrition. Right? They took one class in pre-med school, and then that was it. And if any of your doctors, you know I'm right. Okay? Now, there's some of you that you went ongoing education and learned nutrition, but most doctors don't know nutrition. That's not their education. Okay? So here's the point. Fast forward to this assessment. I asked you, I wonder why they asked why you smoke. So I'm asking why they asked if you smoke. Here's the deal. My mother smokes. So the supplements I was giving her were high in beta-carotene. Okay? Beta-carotene is good for you. It keeps you from going blind. Right? You need beta-carotene. Carrots, whole 9 yards. Okay? Did you know that if you take too much beta-carotene and you smoke or are around secondhand smoke, I don't know about the smoke in Colorado. I'll have to ask that question. But I'm talking about cigarette smoke. Okay? So, the kind of smoke. If you smoke, it increases your chances of lung cancer by over 60%. That's a fact. That's a fact. Who knows that? No one knows that. Medical studies and medical journals know that. So what this assessment does is I keep going through it. I want to make sure you understand. It's not only telling you what you need, but it's protecting you from taking things you shouldn't be taking. All right? Physical well-being. You engage in heavy endurance exercise. What description below describes your joint health? How about your bone health? Because NI Nutrition, folks, has over 1.3 million algorithms. 1.3 million algorithms. So if you're taking chondroitin or glucosamine for joint pain, you won't need to anymore. It's all included in this, specific to how much you need. Okay, so it'll save you a ton of money. What description below is your bone health, joint health? Are you concerned about your level of immune system? Well, I've got 18-month-old twins, like little walking petri dishes in my house, okay? So now, yes, I am concerned about my level of immune system, right? So you go on through physical well-being, and ask about medical conditions. So you put your medical conditions in there, right? Whatever that may be for you. There's a whole long list of them. So you'll go through, like this says, dementia, depression. Like depression's a great one. Depression. If you go into a vitamin place, and you tell them you're suffering from depression-like symptoms, right? Seasonal depression, whatever it is, what do they always tell you to get? St. John's wort, okay? Did you know that if you take St. John's wort combined with cumin, it is clinically proven to send you into deep depression? You literally could be going there buying something that is causing the exact opposite effect of what you're wanting to get accomplished. So that's why it's asking you about your medical conditions and stuff as well. So it goes through all these different things, right? So then after that, it goes to medications. Okay, so that's what medications are you taking. So you enter all those in there, all right? Then boom, they go there. So it's taking into your drug interaction along with your nutrients. Remember, supplements aren't the only things that have a negative interaction with prescription meds. Supplements are nothing more than nutrients put into a deliverable form like a pill. Y'all understand what I'm saying there? Okay? So you could be eating too much of something that has a negative interaction with a medication that you're taking. Right? Like if you love carrots and you smoke, bad combo, right? Okay, I'm just trying to give you some ideas here. So all this assessment tells you that. Then it wraps up. Okay? Dietary patterns, lifestyle, physical well-being, condition, medication. So we'll go through all the outline for you. Now here's my favorite part of this whole deal. It tells you how you're doing. It gives you a rating bar on how you're doing. This is so cool because you have to pay hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, to go get something like this done. And it's free. It's a free health assessment. If you want to be a customer of ours, you don't have to pay a membership fee or anything. Just buy the product you want. right? But it tells you exactly what you need to work on. So it has a whole long list of stuff. Then it tells you what you need. Your basic, and then your advanced custom supplementation. Obviously, you need all of it. But if your budget is tight, you can just uncheck some of the things. In fact, what we're going to change in the interim is we're going to just have the basic checked, where you can go check the advanced stuff. Okay? Because what we're having is people are getting like sticker shock. They're going, wow, $100 a month? And I'm going, it's your health. You spend $4 a day on coffee. You know, we got bottled waters. This stuff runs free in the ditch. And we pay $3 for it to be in a bottle. I mean, it's